Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. I have a question for you, and that is, what on earth is this? Like, what's going on here? It kind of looks like an Iskall face, and, well, yeah, definitely Iskall. Okay, this is from some time ago. I've just happened to notice this because I've been flying past this area. So this is Corrales' area, and I've been flying over the bay here, leading in towards the brewer, recording my intro a couple of times over, just having a hard time with words at the moment. So let's try and get them out this time. Here is the brewer, and in this episode we're gonna get one of these potions up and running and filling up some shulker boxes full of those potions because we will be expanding the brewer today. And what I mean by that is the ability to modify the shulker boxes full of potions. So there are 15 different types. We're going to try and brew all of them, and they're just going to produce the regular types for us to then modify and convert into ones that last longer with redstone or are stronger with glowstone. And the place that is going to happen is underground. So I've had to do some digging. After I flattened this entire area, I could have built this whole thing higher up if I'd have known that this was going to go down below. But plans change, and I feel like below the brewer is the better place to put this. And you know what, it's really not the biggest hole ever, so I've dug this out and guess what, I got myself stupid amounts of sandstone again. So in today's episode, not only do I hope to brew some potions, I hope to successfully modify them as well, as we're going to be building this potion modifier contraption down below. First of all though, I'm going to explain to you exactly how it works. So recently we have spent a fair amount of time in our episodes in this testing world here, figuring out how to get this brewer up and running, and this might actually be the last time that we're here in this world, as I'm going to be explaining the final component today. And this is a contraption that I built from the ground up, and I'm really happy with it. As you can see, I've also come over here and color coded it with some colory wall blocks, so I can break it down and explain exactly what's going on here bit by bit. But first of all, we want to see this thing in action. What I'm doing here is picking up 4 shulker boxes full of potions. What we'll be able to do is put them into this chest here, and then eventually they will return inside of this one, and all of the potions inside of these shulker boxes will be modified. So let's go ahead and chuck them in, and I'm not going to explain the redstone right now, but you are going to see this thing sort of kick in action as a whole bunch of potions have just appeared over here, right? And our modifying ingredient has gone in as well. And so in a moment, the 3rd potion goes in on every single one. So of course, if you do the math, this is 9 brewing stands, 3 potions each. It's the same amount of potions that the shulker box can actually hold all at once. So 1 shulker box and all of those potions get modified at the same time. As you can see, they're making their way all the way down back into a shulker box, which is then going to be chucked into the hoppers and sent back into this chest. And as you can see, a full shulker box of modified potions, and there's the next one, and it'll do all 4 of them that I put into here. And just a little while later, here it comes, all 4 of them are done. So here we go. I'm going to break down all the components of the redstone here one by one. We'll start off with the light blue wall first of all. This is one of the most simplest circuits right here, because all it does is simply power the dispenser once a shulker box comes inside of it. So it's placed over here, and underneath there are hoppers which are going to distribute all of the potions to each of the brewing stands. Now, due to the way that hoppers transfer items in this game, it means that we need some quirky redstone here. All of the red circuit is simply locking the hoppers down below, which you'll notice also have some of these in the way so that only 1 potion can go in at a time. It's probably not actually necessary, as the circuit above over here handles the potions coming all the way over to the end and then unlocking the ones below. So you can imagine that every single one of these hoppers has 1 potion in when all of the ones below unlock, and that is thanks to this quirky redstone right here, which I have borrowed from Ilmango. I don't fully understand how it works, but I looked at his furnace array, copied the redstone, and it fixed the problem. So when these unlock down here, it means all the potions one by one go into the brewing stands. So here is another relatively simple circuit to understand. When the items start to go through these hoppers and end up in the brewing stands, we will create 2 signals. One of them is made when the observer moves up, and that is the white wall right here. It simply dispenses the ingredient into each of these hoppers so it can make its way down into the brewing stand. The other signal is then made when the observer comes down, and that's when the last of the potions have filtered through. What this is then going to do is break the shulker box, which will be just below where this trapdoor is. The piston pushes it down to do that. It will also temporarily unlock this hopper right here, so it will pull the shulker box and bring it all the way down to the bottom. And like the light blue circuit here, we have a green circuit which achieves the same thing. As soon as that shulker box arrives in here, and remember it's empty, it's going to then put it right in front of this dispenser, and on the other side is the hoppers, these ones right here that have the brewing stands above them. So this next one you're going to want to see in action. When the third potion arrives here, it simply sets off a timer. There we go, you can see we're using signal decay here to create a delay that'll eventually kick in and move this one, creating a signal which is then going to unlock all of the hoppers underneath the brewing stands. That's what the yellow circuit does. It locks all of these, and it'll do that until all of them have drained out. And because there is a flip-flop back here, it means that on the other side this gets activated, pushes it back. They're all locked again once the potions are out, so that the contraption can be used all over again. And last of all, we have the pink wall, which is going to detect those potions flowing out from the brewing stands. It doesn't initially create a signal, but when it's empty again, this observer block is going to pull up. That'll activate the piston here, which is going to break the shulker box in that space. You can see there's a dispenser over there. And it also needs a little bit of timing to unlock this hopper, because if this wasn't powered, it would actually drain out all of the items going into the shulker box. And I guess there is one more tiny circuit right here. The blue wall simply represents the item elevator, which takes the shulker box and brings it all the way up to this chest. Now this one over here looks slightly different, and when we build this on Hermitcraft, we're going to include a modification here. You see, when the dispenser has put the shulker box out here and it's been broken, you could technically come over, put another shulker box into this chest, and then break the entire contraption. So over here, we modified it with some pistons and some initial conditions to make it so that that could never happen. So this contraption is officially idiot-proof. Although, you're not exactly an idiot if you come over and put in a chest when it's running and you don't realize it, so it's always a good idea to have precautions like that. Now, we're going to build 3 of what you've seen so far, and the 4th one is going to look like this. This is because it delivers 2 ingredients, and that second ingredient is the dragon's breath. So we modified what was the white wall circuit up here, so not only does the redstone go along in this direction, it has some important timing to make sure that this over here gets powered, so an ingredient gets moved into the brewing stand from this side and from this side over here too. And because of that, we have a different timing circuit over the side here, and I actually want to show you this one in action because it is really quite interesting. And this contraption works slightly differently. You see over here, you have to actually place the shulker box manually. This was originally how I wanted it to work, but I changed my mind, and anyway, when this thing is fully drained and it gets broken, the iron trapdoor closes so it doesn't land on a ledge. Now the timer over here has actually started already because I've been talking, but essentially all of the items start over on this side, drain over to here, and it's not until they drain back again that then this thing becomes unpowered and falls down, and it drains back into its original starting position. But that doesn't happen until the signal here changes, which is after the item comes out of this hopper. What would have been sitting there is the dragon's breath, which is now inside of here. So it has that one kind of like sitting there waiting, and this is actually a really similar setup to what we have in the normal brewers over there. And then there you go, it does its thing, it unlocks it all and out drain the lingering potions. And a nice little touch here as well, it places the shulker box back on the ground. But to reiterate, we are going with the chest version over here so that you can queue up lots and lots of shulker boxes all at once. So the goal of today's episode is to get one of our potion brewers up and online. Not only are we going to do that, we're then going to modify some of the shulker boxes we fill up from it, because I have now built the contraption I was explaining a moment ago down the bottom here. And you can see I decided to color code the redstone as well, so all the different sections are kind of separated. And I've even been putting down some of those markers for these other ones that we're going to build to make it a little easier when we get around to that. But this one is almost ready to go, and it's been a little bit of a pain to come around here and condition it by putting in all of the blaze powder with the minecarts. Kind of like we've done up above, but we've got to do it all again. On the opposite side, there's loads of minecarts as well, just blocking off those spaces. And then over here, I discovered a little bit of a problem, which I think we're going to solve by putting this here. And because this dropper transfers the items and doesn't get activated, it means that we can fill it up with minecarts like this. And then we're going to have our hopper chain go in slightly higher so it doesn't get locked by that, which actually only briefly turns off for a moment. So it could indeed cause some trouble. Now, the other thing I've been thinking about is we also want to hook up our blaze powder to supply to the area up top. So there's going to be some interesting engineering going on later on with minecarts. I am loving getting stuck in with all of this redstone at the moment. And as you'll see over here, this has been quite the project really, with just tons of resources and supplies needed. I had to make this area bigger. You might have picked up on that, it's a lot larger than it was before. And I've got 4 shulker boxes worth of gunpowder, and we're probably going to need more of this. You see, the trick I showed you a moment ago with having minecarts filling all of the slots up in the dropper and then one for gunpowder, that'll work up here, but when we get to this level, this is going to be activated by redstone, which means it can randomly pick any slot. So all of these, and there are 9 of them, have to be filled up with gunpowder. We are tearing through resources over here. Not only is the iron used for the hoppers, then all the minecarts inside of it as well. So yeah, that is set up and ready to go, and I believe our brewer over here is ready to go as well. I have picked out poison, because I know another hermit is using splash poison potions. So of course, we want this whole project to be useful for other hermits, so that's why we're going to start here. We've got all our shulker boxes queued up. I believe I have to do that, and it will place one on the inside ready for potions. Around the back here, I've loaded up all the spider eyes, so you can see the redstone is turned on here for that ingredient, which means this brewer is capable of getting going. So not only do the spider eyes go here, they also go over to the side to the next brewer as well. So this thing has both of its ingredients ready, and it also has its blaze powder and its potions at the front, or water bottles. And so this line over the back here is currently off, even though it's actually ready to go. I think this is the nether wart line. Yeah, there you go. So when I put this here, I'm not sure if the brewer starts straight away or not. Okay, so from here you can see the 2 torches are turned off, meaning that we have enough ingredients in the system, but it doesn't start automatically. It will do in the future. What I'm going to do is break that, then repower it. That means the ingredients go in and this thing gets kicked off, right? Why would it have 2 spider eyes there? And 2 nether warts? I don't understand. Okay, I'm going to take... Well, okay, everything's going wrong. Everything's going wrong. How did it get 2 of each? So my interactions didn't break anything here, meaning these should now get drained. Fresh ones come in. We got 1 ingredient. And there's the second one. I don't know why that went wrong, but we'll have to keep an eye out for that when we fire up other ones. Also, what is up with these husks? I've got 2 on this side, 2 on that side over there. It's the Day of the Living Dead. Okay, I've had my first big goof. I forgot about this system, although I did come over here to check it out. We are missing a key hopper here. It's always tricky to place this when you're on a scaffold, and that's going to move the water bottles across. The thing is, it's already moved some blaze powder down here. There is also a lot of blaze powder moving through this system. Like, how is that empty already? I am slightly concerned that there is something else going wrong here. I'm starting to think there's a problem here where the water bottle actually gets replaced by blaze on that side. Well, I literally just put a bottle there and then there it goes again. So looking at the very top chest, the fact that this is draining fast simply means that somewhere along the line a potion bottle, oh well, it's right here, the potion bottle is skipped out, and yeah, that's a real pain right there. That's a problem. So look at this, our brewer's doing an alright job. A full box of potions. This one right here has some water bottles from where we kicked it off and understandably made a mistake. And looking up here, we've got none of these skipping out with the blaze powder yet. That seems to happen further down there. And I'm now worried, what happens when it skips out at these ones pointing into the brewer? You know, that's going to stop the water bottles getting to the brewer. And that is a big problem. Like, a really big problem. Like, a terrible problem. It's going to break the whole thing. Okay, let's at least see if this machine works, if I build it all correctly. Those should come out as splash poison potions due to the way that this is set up. Anyway, this looks very promising. They're all in. Oh, there is something wrong with the timing circuit, isn't there? What did I do wrong over here? Good news, everyone. This right here is fixed up, as you can see, splash potions. And the issue was there was supposed to be 3 non-stackable items in here, and I had 2. Now that there's 3, it works just fine. With that issue taken care of, we have another one to solve, and over here I've been simulating the problem, and I can actually show you that in action. You can see all of this is currently set up correctly, and what I'm going to do is come over here and whip out some potions, and that should break some of the blaze powder. There it goes. That one has broken, and then I put in a potion and it breaks. And again. Very interesting. But anyway, with all of this fixed, if I then go and put potions into this chest and then take a whole bunch from down here, just going to continuously take them as they come in, right, then we go back and check these pipes again. This time they don't appear to be broken, and I believe what's happening is it's prioritizing taking them from this chest first. Some more testing is required, but potentially that's the way we fix it. We build additional water stations at this point right here. So I came up with this. What we could do is distribute empty bottles all the way across, and each and every one of the brewers could have its own water filling station right in front of it, and I managed to fit it into a very compact space, but unfortunately this will not do the job. And this is because Nembom has informed me that hopper priority, i.e. taking from the chest or from the hopper behind it, is actually random and based on a bunch of variables which can kind of change from chunk to chunk and when you reload the world, and so basically it's totally unreliable. So in the contraption there is redstone either side of the brewing stand, and potentially we could link that to this over here and hope that the timing can be corrected so that this hopper can be locked. As you'll see, if I take this out of here, it stops items coming out of this hopper and going into that one. It doesn't stop it from taking from the container above it. Amazing. That can actually be done with this. That's all we need. I've just tested it a couple of times and it will lock this, meaning that the potions will come from this spot. But there is, however, potentially a more elegant solution. I was chatting with Nembom about this problem with the hoppers and when they choose to take items from behind them, and he pointed out that the brewing stand uses the blaze powder not so often. It needs restocking rather rarely, and so an elegant solution could be to have 4 bottles inside of here and the blaze powder, and then behind it nothing but bottles. So we would completely eliminate that problem that we have, and then we can just send out a minecart chest every so often all the way across here, and because the blaze powder isn't used that often, it would very simply get sucked up by the hopper and just top up the blaze powder in the hopper underneath. And so it leaves me with one question. What if all 15 of these brewers are running at the same time? Can these hoppers provide enough water bottles? So believe it or not, it's spreadsheet time, and this is our brewing spreadsheet, and over here you can see that I have added the hopper, and it can transfer 2.5 items every second. And that means over 20 seconds it can move 50 items. Now why 20? That's how long it takes to brew an ingredient in a brewing stand. So if every 20 seconds 3 potions are consumed, we need 45 every 20 seconds, and we can transfer 50. But here's the thing, most of these use 2 ingredients, so already that would be 40 and then 1.5. And if we just drag both of those down for pretty much all of the potions, you can see that the demand on our hoppers is actually very little. And it rounded up the numbers, didn't it? Yeah, there you go. All of them are actually 1.5. So this is pretty much mission accomplished. We got our rail in place. I believe down here you can see we've sorted out the bottles, and so the only place the blaze is right here. And then I've had to wiggle this around so it can point underneath where this is going to go. And as you just saw, that got activated. So we've got an EFO hopper clock, creates a pulse every so often, and that's going to send out this minecart chest. Looks like we got visitors on either side again. They just follow me as I walk back and forth. Anyway, this thing is now running around the clock and filling up shulker boxes, and I figured, let's fire up another one. And what have we got next door? We got loads of phantom membrane. And there's nothing quite like filling up your inventory full of shulker boxes. And they are all going in here, of course. We've got one left over so that we can... Ooh, I placed that in the wrong spot, big time. Because now... Wait a minute, was this one full? Ah, it was just locked. So can I put that back down quickly and get away with it? I think I can. You see this here, this lever? This is like my manual override. So when I fire one up, I put that there just to be on the safe side as I'm filling everything up with ingredients. And you may or may not have noticed, but my game sounds have gone again. And the world's rather laggy. 1.16.4 is not performing pretty well. Ever since we've updated, I've had this sound issue, and I keep getting lag spikes on Hermitcraft. And here is another issue that I've had. The world in which we created all of these brewers, and I still have a design in here that I need to use. I log in, I move around a little bit, and it locks up. The game completely crashes whenever I go into this world. So potions of slow falling, we've now got them. They will continue to brew up. This is a little bit slow, you know, like AFK for 5 minutes and I get one box at a time. What we're going to do is go drop this off for another hermit and see if they're interested in getting some more. So a certain neighbour of ours is making a mini-game in their base, and this mini-game involves poison potions to bring the player's health all the way down. And it's somewhere around here. I'm actually seeing it like for the first time. Like in-game. I've only seen it in Etho's videos. Is it actually built here? Am I mistaken? I'm flying around all over this thing, and I could have sworn the game was like a part of his base. But I can't find it. Oh, that is so very, very cool. To do that for decorations. And you know what those cost, right? They cost gas tiers. We've got endless gas tiers, so we might have to use some of these of our own. Okay, his game is not in the gaming area either. Just wanted to fly over here and confirm that. Aha, I've got it. You can't hide from me, Etho. I know where you're building this. Well, the truth is, I didn't have a clue, but this is our shared area. It's a jungle. It was a jungle in his video, but I noticed that there was snow in the background. And so over here, not too far from the gaming area, there is a jungle with snow in the background. And so yeah, I've flown over to this place. It looks like he hasn't done much since we last saw it in his episode. I am going to just drop this down right here and then send him a message on Discord. Are those mushroom blocks? If I put it on there, it might mess them up. I'm going to put it on that side. So, need more pots? Just ask X. Hopefully Etho will then reach out and we can provide him with all of the potions that he ever needs for this game. And so I will now stand in this box and AFK like a champion over here, getting shulker boxes full of potions. I'm also going to try and find the time to finish building the next two of these, because I got a feeling Etho might want level 2 potions, so we need the one with glowstone, so you can convert those, then convert them into splash ones over here. And I'm going to need to explain it to any hermits coming over here. At the moment, this place isn't really open for business. But we probably should start working on the layout a little bit. There's just so many facets to this project. It really is a mega project. And that is the end of today's episode, by the way. So if you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. And I have other channels here on YouTube. I have the Talkie channel, Xisuma Says, the music channel, Xisuma Music, and Xisuma 2, where all my live streams are uploaded. If you've never gone check them out, please do so. There are some links in the description box down below. That is it from me, this episode of Hermitcraft, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.